Ladies and gentlemen, one of the favorites, of course, a star of the GSL, it is Clyde. His opponent spawning in the top left position. Will he be able to take this series? This is the championship bracket. It's single elimination, so the loser of this series does get eliminated from the tournament. Everything on the line now, representing Team xSixSleep, it is Sleep.
All right, so it is going to be cross position here on Entombed. Sleep right now does not know this, sending his Overlord toward that vertical position since the close ground positions are not allowed here. And right now we do have Clyde just going for that standard wall off at the front here.
Nothing too much out of the ordinary so far in this game. We don't see any ultra early pool or anything like that coming out from Sleep. Both players looking forward to a good, solid slugfest of a macro game. We note that Sleep is going to be going up to 14 supply, so it could be a 14 gas pool, but we could also be seeing that hatch first, I believe, going to be popping out of him as the barracks going to be starting at the wall off now for Slayer's Clyde.
Yep, so not going to go CC first on this map. We'll see how Greedy actually decides to play this Entombed in one of those maps where you can take one of those really quick thirds. Since you can't actually make that CC in your main, and the float distance to that third base mineral line is just so short. But right now we are going to see a drone scout here from Sleep, so he's going to know the positions, he's going to know the openings here, and that's going to give him perfect information to go ahead and place down the hatchery at his natural. And we'll even see how many drones he makes. He might actually just cut a couple since it is going to be cross positions. He knows that it's not going to be anything like a 2 racks here. And oh, nice little move there by Clyde, trapping the drone inside the main base by plopping that supply depot down.
Excellent play there. And there we go. Going to be completing the supply depot as well so that the drone can't even harass it too much. The SCV getting a little bit of grief there. The drone wanting to go home, but unfortunately it is going to be denied. That drone will inevitably go down. SCV now going to be scouting the top right position. He will soon see that Sleep is in fact at cross positions. So Overlord going to be poised to come in a little bit later on in the day.
Oh
wow, did both of them go down?
Yeah, he actually got the SCV kill. A little bit sloppy there from Clyde.
Ouch. Well, that's a nice little kill there. Of course, Sleep wanting to make sure that drone goes down with the bag, and he actually managed to do that. As you mentioned, a little bit sloppy from Clyde there, allowing that SCV to get taken out early. Gas now completing for Sleep. The pool is going to be done shortly. Of course, he's only just started mining gas, so we're not going to see any ultra quick metabolic boost or anything like that, but he will be getting that shortly. A queen now going to be made at the natural expansion hatchery, and of course another one in the main as well. It'll be interesting to see how many queens he goes up to. On Entombed Valley, we do see the potential possibility for a lot of creep tumors down at the bottom of this ramp, and you can really spread that creep very fast towards the Xelnaga tower in the center. I'd be interested to see if Sleep goes to 4 or more queens and really tries to spread that creep very fast.
Ooh, now this is interesting. On the other side of the map, we have Clyde opening up standard into that 1 rack CC, adding on that double gas, but his second production building is actually going to be another barracks. Now, a lot of times when you see these double gas, you immediately see that factory go down, so I'm not really sure what he's going to use this gas for, but I'm guessing it's going to be a couple add-ons here into a very, very strong bio push.
Interesting bunker placement as well. Note that a lot of Terrans tend to like to place the bunker over here at the top of the ramp into the natural, but he knows that his main base is walled off, so he'll be able to raise those depots if necessary, and just wanting to put the bunker in a position where it better defends against a Ling run-by once it gets up the ramp. So maybe we have Clyde here just thinking a little bit ahead, wanting to make sure he's not too susceptible to those run-bys later on in the game.
Yeah, so we do have the factory added on after those first 2 barracks. And I'm still really confused as to what he's going to go for here.
Normally we see a lot of Terran players go 1 racks expand into 3 racks. And in this particular case, we are going to be seeing a factory rather than a 3rd barracks go down for Clyde. So to me that indicates he may want to go a little bit earlier into heavier tank play. There is of course only 1 Xelnaga tower on this map. So if you can hold the center of the map and slow push your tanks forward, you might be able to contain your opponents at 3 bases by holding this area over here in the, I would say the middle of the map, but more towards the Zerg half, especially if the creep spread isn't that advanced. We do see Sleep now going to be spreading that creep. His Overlord spread, like I mentioned in the pregame, look at this. His scouting is fantastic. The Overlord spread is beautiful. Has one in the back of the Terran base as well. So he is getting his scouting on, going to be putting that creep spread closer to the middle of the map, but if Clyde gets a couple of fast siege tanks out and can maybe form a line here before Sleep is ready for it, he might be able to contain him to 3 bases going into the late game.
And here we have Sleep maybe looking to sacrifice an Overlord here for his scouting. He does see the factory now. Is he going to get close enough to actually spot the add-ons?
Oh, if he spots the tech lab, he might think that's siege mode, but it's actually Blue Flame Hellion, so we're not going really quick tanks out of here from Clyde. He is instead opting for those Blue Flame. Now, of course, Sleep has no idea what is being researched here. He only knows that the factory is building units and that the tech lab actually has an upgrade, so he may very well assume that siege mode is on the way, but in fact, Blue Flame Hellion will be knocking down his front door, so we'll see if he's made any contingency for that in his game later on. In the meantime, we do see the third now up and mining for Sleep, so he wants to grab that pretty quickly as well to see if he can get an economic advantage going into the mid-game.
Yep, we do also see the double upgrades coming down for his melee attacks. We also see that Baneling Nest going down as soon as he saw that third barracks coming out. And so this is actually going to be a very, very strong bio push with the addition of Blue Flames, it looks like. Stim right now about 80% of the way done. He's already marching across the map here. This is going to get spotted by Sleep's Zergling at the Zelnaga Watchtower. But looking at the army tab, he's going to need to catch up here. Right now his opponent is at 28 army supply versus his 20. And that Baneling Nest is just about to finish, but there we go. 12 more lings on the way, knowing that this push is about to hit.
So we'll wait and see if he can hold this here. He has got a decent SimCity off at the front of the wall. Double evolution chamber, 2 spine crawls, only a small entrance here that can be blocked by a queen, I believe. Sleep actually doing a good job of adopting a defensive posture, and look at this, the creep spread now starting to be taken apart here. Sleep doing a good job of spreading that out into the middle of the map. He has a lot of notice, but this push is incoming, and it looks like the third is going to be the target of choice for Clyde for now, but actually the spine crawler dissuading him a little bit here, just going to be positioning the army off creep once again, and Overlord, I believe, is about to get picked off. It will not be able to survive, and we have more and more units now filing in, but it looks like Sleep might be going for a Ling counterattack.
And he needs to be very careful, though. The addition of those reactor Blue Flame Hellions here, oh, not actually reactor, but just a lot of Blue Flame Hellions joining him in the middle of the map, able to repel that link force. And he's actually got a pretty good wall up at home. We see that supply depot completely blocking it off, as well as the bunker there.
Supply blocked here from Clyde, unfortunately. He is getting a starport down as well as more barracks, so he's actually transitioning to very heavy bio play here. But this supply block is lasting forever. He has been supply blocked for a good 30 seconds now. Depot finally completing, but immediately look at that, 78 out of 78. He has had a lot of stuff queued up for a while now, so hopefully that won't hurt him too much going into the mid game. 103 supply to 76. Let's take a look at what the worker supply is at. 68 for Sleep compared to 39 from Clyde. Clyde really has to do some damage with this timing push.
And right now, again, he is looking very strong with that army in the center. Stim is finished. He does not yet have combat shields, but it's on the way, as well as that +1 weapons. Siege mode also going to be added on here. And it looks like we do have another orbital, so he's going to be able to catch up a little bit here as that third base is finishing for him. But right now, Sleep with a decent amount of banelings here, moving his spine crawlers forward a bit. And again, creeping the center of that map, which is so important. Entombed, one of the flattest maps, and it's just so wide open in the center that making sure that you have that creep spread so you can get those Zergling and Baneling surrounds is going to be crucial to holding off some of these attacks.
Clyde really needs to think about doing some sort of timing here. If we take a quick look, we see there are 0-0 upgrades on that bio army. 1-1 is already complete with 2-2 on the way for Sleep. And he is taking his fourth base as well. Going to be catching a couple of units out in the middle of the map here. Gets a decent surround on those Marines. The Hellions able to get back. And Clyde looking like he's going to finally fend off this Ling army, but he is down on supply, about 20 at the moment. Up to 4 bases is Sleep. The third base is being floated over by Clyde, but I'm just not sure if he's going to be sustaining any sort of advantage going into what will now be the mid to late game soon, especially if Sleep just continues expanding. Clyde isn't doing any drop harass. The Overlord spread, of course, very, very good for spotting that kind of thing. If we take a look at the map vision for Sleep here, he's just being very, very good about making sure he has as much vision as possible. And Clyde really needs to find a way in the side door here, preferably.
Yeah, the passiveness right now is allowing Sleep and to really, really tech up. We see that a Hive is almost finishing here. Yep. Now, with that Link style, we often see a Hive start at around 14 minutes, but here it's going to finish at about 13:30, and we already see that Spire coming up, Infestors coming up, and Burrow about to finish. So he's just doing a really great job teching up super fast and also going to add on another hatchery here in the top right.
And I love this style from Sleep. He is saying, well, if you're not going to attack me, I'm just going to keep expanding like any good Zerg would do, and it's up to you to decide what you're going to do about it. It looks like Clyde has finally decided, you know what, 5 bases might be a little bit too much, sending that Bioforce in, but there are a lot of Lings and Banelings. The tanks aren't sieged up yet. They now start sieging, but the Bio is being moved back, and oh, it looks like the Zerg is actually going to be moved back there from Sleep. I get the feeling he might have been able to snipe off those tanks though, but he maybe just wants to be doubly sure, and it looks like he's going to be waiting for a few infestors in this army composition before actually engaging Clyde. And here we go.
And getting a nice round, nice fungals going down on that patch of bio. The Banelings rolling in, being able to clean that up so quickly. Oh my goodness, the Lings with their upgrades 2-2 now, able to decimate that Bioforce, and right now he gives himself a 50 supply lead here as that Greater Spire has just now started and the Ultralisk Cavern finishing. So that is just a huge, huge cleanup as Sleep will want to be teching to those hive units now, and now aiding on 16 more drones.
All of the tech is actually located here at the natural expansion for Sleep. Now, I want you guys just to note here, nice placement of the Overlord, but just imagine how much damage a drop can actually do in this portion of the base. All of the tech is being positioned in this exact location. Clyde unable to get a base kill off on anything on Sleep's half of the map. Sleep has 3-3 and Ultras incoming as it currently stands with chitinous plating, and Clyde is still only at 1-0 Marines. The tanks don't even have an upgrade on them. He is so behind on these upgrades right now, and this is what happens in a TvZ if you leave a Zerg unchecked for a long period of time. As long as they keep expanding, you won't be able to keep up with them. Let's look at the income tab, and don't forget, our Terran player has the addition of Mules, but Sleep is still destroying Clyde as far as income.
Yeah, Clyde just now getting that 4th base down at the 6 o'clock position, as he did need to scan to get rid of that burrowed Zergling. And that burrowed Zergling actually saw this medevac drop that we see on the left side as it passed over it. So will he be ready? It is geared up to kind of land at that natural where all the tech is. There is a Spore Crawler actually hiding behind that Greater Spire, as well as a Spine Crawler in the natural mineral line. But a lot of the units right now are just in the middle of all these bases, and how much damage is he going to be able to do?
Oh, and here we go. This is what we were talking about. The drop going to be going down near the tech and actually landing the Marines on the high ground where they can shoot at the Greater Spire. Finally, now we have some Lings going to be popping in as well. Good location from the Marines, actually, but the medevac does get targeted there by the Queen. No more healing there, and it looks like this drop is going to be complete. Wow, look at this Rambo Marine sort of chilling out on the bottom here, not caring he's in the middle of the Zerg base. Unfortunately, he is going to be going down soon as well. I hope he doesn't go unchecked for too long.
Yep, and right now we do see that Sleep has added on these 2 extra gases, dropping down those Spine Crawlers, realizing that Clyde is starting to go into that little bit of drop mode, recognizing the fact that the Greater Spire is down and that Zerg's army is going to be a little bit less mobile, just not all Zerglings and Speedlings. And right now we do see the Ultras coming out. Just look at that army though from Sleep there, Banelings, Ultras, and Infestors. That is just a bio killer there.
It is indeed, and he's actually also already thinking about his tech transition after this as well. He's getting that +1 flyer carapace so that when he gets those corruptors out on the field for the next wave of attacks, note that there are no Vikings out right now. So once he starts trading, and here we go, the engagement is about to happen. Banelings rolling in from everywhere. The tanks are in the front, soaking up a lot of hits from the Banelings. The problem is there is nothing to counter the Ultras right now, and Clyde getting demolished by Sleep in the middle of the map. GG!
Oh man, what a game there. Sleep just crushing through that without even the addition of Broodlords. Those tanks all went down in one swipe as those 5 Ultras kind of got their shots off all at the same time. The splash damage just being able to do such great DPS there.
This is exactly what happens when you leave a Zerg unchecked for too long and they're just able to expand at will. And that's exactly what we saw there. Sleep taking full advantage of the fact that Clyde wasn't really poking in with small numbers of units and harassing in the early to mid game, getting his tech up. I like the fact that he was getting Flyer Carapace as well, because he would have been able to tech transition into Broodlords like that once the first engagement was over, but it only took the first engagement to kill off his Terran opponent. So we'll have to wait and see if Slayer's Clyde can make it 1-1 after game number 2. He is on the ropes right now, on the brink of elimination from the Gigabyte Esports LAN. We'll see what he can do after this quick commercial break. Don't go anywhere.